All right, thank you everybody for your patience. Tonight's attendance, 7,422 for a live gate of 1,435,000. Bonuses tonight, fight of the night, Mike Pyle and Sean Spencer. And performance of the night, Wonderboy Thompson and Diego Rivas. $50,000 bonuses. 2 injury updates for you. Noad Lahat, CAT scans on neck, eye, and jaw all negative. He is on his way back to the hotel. 1 other injury update for you. Nicholson has a jaw fracture, likely to require surgery. Who has the first question?
Thanks for the update, Steve. We'll start with Joseph Benavidez if we could. Fantastic performance by you tonight. The finish, though, it looked like there was some anger, some frustration there. What was going through your head at that point?
It was just anger that the fight was over and I wanted to continue fighting. Like, I finally felt like, man, I'm fighting awesome and this feels great. And I was just having fun, where, the first few rounds, it was like a filling out process. I was finally getting into the fight. Then I realized it was over and I was like, that was what I was more angry at. It's like, damn it. Like, even all through the back, I started already like hitting mitts and stuff with Dwayne and with Lance. Just, man, we could have done this, could have done that. And like, I finally felt like I was fighting up to my potential going to the third. Like, I finally got comfortable. And that was more what the frustration about. And, I was in a fight, so I was just excited.
Your immediate quote, the flash quotes to the UFC, you said that you didn't think Cejudo deserved the shot, so I'm sure you heard the announcement that he got this fight.
How perfect is that?
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, explain that, why you think he hasn't done enough to get there right now.
Well, I didn't think he hasn't beat the top guys, even in his last fight when he beat a guy that wasn't right at the top. No one after that fight was like, oh, I can't wait to see that guy fight for the title. You know what I mean? Basically is what it comes down to. And, obviously I would like to fight him, and I have wanted to. I would love another fight even before I get the title or whatever, But so that was more my thing. But no one had informed me that he had already got the title shot. So after I was like, darn it. But, yeah, that was how I felt about it. Like, he didn't earn it. So obviously, if we fight and I beat him and, but that's old news now because he's getting the title shot.
Fair enough. And last thing for you, Joseph. I know you trained outside of Team Alpha Male this time, but I think a lot of people were surprised to not see any of the Team Alpha Male coaches in your corner.
Lance Palmer was.
Lance, yeah, a training partner, not a coach so much.
Yeah.
Is that an indicator of something we're going to see going forward? Is that just simply because you weren't there in the camp this time around?
No, I think it is, honestly. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm straightforward, and I feel better. That's why I took this step in this camp, to train. It's kind of crazy to be like, guys on a 4-fight win streak, what do you not feel good doing? You know what I mean? But I just knew, like, I was fighting, and I was lucky. I was winning 4 fights, and I was better than the guys I was fighting, but I wasn't better than the best Joe Benavidez, I wasn't as good as I could be. And, I think you saw some improvements tonight, working with Dwayne on the stand-up and everything. And I've always felt great with Dwayne, and I'm going to obviously do as a fighter what I feel best doing, and that's that, moving forward. Obviously, those guys are always family, and they'll always support me no matter what I do, whether I train over there for a little bit or whatever. But I feel better, training there, and especially at this point in my career, just evolving and mixing things up, getting out of my comfort zone. It was great.
All right, thanks for the update, Joseph.
Thank you.
For Vince, we could quickly, obviously we saw you come in on crutches. You told me that you rolled your ankle as you were walking by press row, but has it gotten worse since then? What's the update there?
Just being careful about it. I don't think it's going to get worse. I'll probably be sitting around probably about 2 weeks or so, but it just happens. You fight, it happens.
Can you give us an idea of what you were feeling in there? Because you were noticeably limping, especially in the first round. Kind of what you were feeling, and was there any thought of, I got to get out of here, this isn't going to work?
What initially happened, I was backing up, and he started going forward. And the whole initial game plan was to press him, and that's what I was doing. And he started pressing me, and he knew I was hurt. And just kind of bit down on my mouthpiece and basically tell my pin sensors to go away. And it kind of worked. There was times during the fight that I felt it, but I kind of just bit down on my mouthpiece and kind of let that go.
Thanks, Vince. And just lastly, if I could, for Mike Pyle. Mike, big win for you tonight, first win in 2 years. Talk about the time off this past 2 years. Has it been tough? What would it feel like picking up that win this evening?
Well, first of all, it felt great. Hello? Yeah, first of all, it felt great. It was a good win for me. I felt like it was a good performance, at least at the ending of it. Yeah, I took the time off on purpose. I had some things, some endeavors to do. Took care of those. New father, taking care of that, which is a blessing. So I just took my time. You know, I'm getting older. I need a little bit more time than some of these young dudes. So whatever, you know, I'll just take a little bit more time, and you know, fight when they ask me to.
And lastly, you did say in your media quotes afterwards that at 40 years old, you're not sure how long you can keep up with these 20-somethings.
Yeah.
Are you thinking about the end?
What do you think about that performance?
$50,000 sounds good.
I think I still got it. This old dog still got some fight. So, like I say, the day that I get out of bed and I just can't perform in the gym, and I don't feel confident, I will not step into the octagon and risk anything. I'm not going to go out looking like an old man. If anything, I want to still perform like I did tonight. Time will tell.
Question for Joseph. Joe, when you, who told you in the locker room that you didn't get the title shot, that Cejudo had it? Who'd you find out from?
I think it was in my first interview, and they were like, "Oh, that was great you said that, but did you know that Cejudo got the title shot tonight?" And I was like, "Dang it. You know, I thought that was a good quote to use in there or whatever." And, like, I wanted that fight, obviously. So, yeah, that was what they told me basically when I went out, like, "Hey, no one informed you, but, yeah. Like, that was cool and you sounded cool and everything, but no." So
Does it crush you because you have, you know, a really good performance against a top level fighter, and then, you know, you're all pumped up, and then you find out that you're not getting the title shot? I mean, is it kind of a deflating blow?
Oh, no, I wouldn't say that. I didn't think I was going to get it next above Cejudo. I just wanted to maybe fight him for it, you know, if nothing had been scheduled yet, you know. I mean, you know, I'm not kidding myself or anybody else. I lost to the champion twice. I got to do a ton of stuff and be very impressive, you know, to get a third title shot. I understand that, and I just thought that would have been, you know, the next step, you know, going forward. So, no, I got a good win against a good guy, but, you know, I understand how it is. Obviously, I'll fight for the title anytime, and I know I can go out and put a competitive fight on with the champion any single night. But, you know, I also realize, you know, there's a lot to be done because of what has happened in the past.
Thank you. Johnny, can you tell us in your words how difficult, first of all, the kicks were? I mean, it seemed like he really gave you some problems with those kicks.
Yeah, the kicks were a little bit of a problem, but also in training camp, whenever I closed the distance on him, they'd always fire back. You know, he didn't fire back. He would continue to move. You know, and then all of a sudden, you know, it was just like, oh, come on. You know, I want him to fight, but I'm playing into his game. You know, and so he did a better job tonight. You know, that's all I can really say. I'm going to get better. You know, every loss I come back stronger and better, and that's really all I'm focused on right now is wait until I can see the film. I know what he caught me with. I know what he hit me with, and I know really everything that landed, but it's still the fact that I lost. All right.
The fact that he was jumping from southpaw to orthodox and back, and I know he hit you out of the southpaw stance with that left-handed, was that difficult, and does that create any issues when the, you know, guys moving that way?
No, like I said, I got the range. You know, the range is different whenever they switch from southpaw to right-handed orthodox, and whenever they do that constantly, whenever I pressure him and then all of a sudden he's gone, you know. Really, I could have thrown, but I didn't. You know, so I was hesitating. Why was I hesitating? Is because I thought he wasn't in range. But I should have maybe closed the distance a little bit better. It is what it is. You know, you learn from it and you get better.
I know, you know, you just lost the fight, but have you thought about, like, or let me ask you, Robbie Lawler against him, how would he match up? You fought both of those guys. If they were to make the fight with Steven against Robbie, how do you think Steven would fare in a fight like that?
That's a good question. I have fought both of them. And Robbie is sort of the way that I like to fight. You know, you're going to bite down the mouthpiece, you're going to throw, and you're going to throw some more, and you're going to throw some more. And Steven, if you don't get the right people in, you know, like I said, I thought I got good people in to mimic him. But everybody I fought, once I closed that distance, I sort of landed something, they would stay in, they would punch into it, you know, and then I'd get them into a fight where he did not. You know, as soon as I felt like I landed something, he was like, screw that, I'm back out. You know, and that's where, again, training partners are very important on this. And so if he plays that game, he could do good. You know, I don't know. You know, each person's different. I know Robbie's tough. Do I think he can beat him? I don't know. Could he do good? Possibly. But right now I'm just sort of thinking on what I need to do to improve my skills. And just in case I do have to face him again, if I have to face him again, how do I beat him?
When do you want to come back?
I'm thinking August because I have a baby boy being born anywhere from March 24th to April 14th. So I want to be there with my wife and help her after the baby's born. We do have 3 kids. This is the 4th one on the way. So I want to help her, get her settled, and so that way I can start training again. And then in the training, then I can figure out how much more I can train and all that kind of stuff and help her out.
Thank you, Johnny. And one last question. Mickey, can I ask you, congratulations on your win. Do you feel like, there was some criticism of the fact that you were even on the card and that, fighting Mike and everything? Do you feel like you answered any questions and, maybe shut some people up with the way you performed?
I understand the criticism. Not many 1-0 fighters go into the UFC. The UFC is the highest level. But I'm going to prove that I am of that caliber. And, yeah, I understand it, but, I'm happy to show what I can do.
And what's your feeling on, now just fighting Punk? He knows a little bit about you. He's seen 2 fights of yours. You don't know anything about him. How do you kind of figure out a game plan for a guy you don't know anything about?
I'm extremely excited to fight him. I'm just going to force my game on him. I'm not really too concerned with what he's going to do. I'm going to force my game on him.
Question for Johnny Hendricks. Johnny, we talked a lot this week about your conditioning, how good you looked. You talked about it yourself. How did that translate to fight night? How did you feel tonight compared to other fights?
Oh, I felt good. Take nothing away from that. Stephen Thompson was just a better man tonight. What can I say? He performed. I hesitated. I don't hesitate usually. But again, a lot of it goes into preparation. I switched camps and all these other kind of things, but no excuses. He was just a better man. Like I said, whenever I got my partners, whenever I closed that distance, they would bite down and they'd have to throw back. Where tonight, he didn't do that. Every time I got close and I landed a punch or anything, he was still circling out, trying to evade. We knew he would do some of that. I didn't think it would be to that extent. And so now that I realize, all right, well, how do you beat that? That's what I'm thinking right now. The fight is in the past. Now I'm sitting here going, all right, the way he evaded, he was going from his southpaw, and then he would start circling to his left, and then all of a sudden he would switch to a right-handed stance. All right, how do I cut off that corner? That's how my brain's working right now. It's still not, I'm still trying to figure out, if somebody beats me, how do I beat them? Because I'm pretty sure I'm going to see him again. And if I see him again, I want to make sure that it's not the same outcome.
A question for Roy Nelson. Roy, Jared Rosholt fought a pretty cautious fight tonight. I think a lot of us thought that his wrestling might be more of a factor. Were you surprised that he didn't shoot on you until late into the 3rd round?
No, he shot on me, I think, every round. I think I just took him out of his game. And made him a track star today.
How are you feeling? This gets you back on the winning side of things. How are you feeling about fighting again? How much when would you like to fight again?
I like to fight I'm one of those heavyweights that like to fight as often as possible. I like to actually fight. It's just in my blood. I'm not a UFC athlete. I'm a UFC fighter. And it's just frustrating.
A question for Mike Pyle. Mike, it looked like when you threw that final knee, you were looking at the referee to maybe stop the fight before you had to throw it. And I think other people might have been doing that as well. In a fight, even though you know that quite possibly the fight could be stopped before that, do you still have to load up and throw that knee as hard as you can? Is that a mental decision you have to make?
It was more of a look, not are you going to stop this? It's more of a look, hey, I'm about to do this again. I got to do my job. I'm gonna put my fist or my knee completely through your head if possible. That's the name of the game. So it was more kind of, I knew he was kind of out, but You know, I was just trying to be nice, I guess. Give the referee a chance, not so much Spencer.
And lastly, for Mickey Gall, Mickey, you punched your ticket to the CM Punk fight tonight. Do you have any better indication of when this fight might take place? CM Punk was on record tonight saying he'd like to have it at 200. Do you have any indication about that?
200 would be great, but I'm happy anywhere, wherever. 200 sounds great. You put me down for that.
Noted. Thanks.
Couple questions from Mickey Gall here. Mike
Yeah, I
Jackson.
was waiting.
Going into the fight, the stipulation was that you would be the one to get the shot at CM Punk, and I wasn't. Was there any added pressure for you knowing that I had nothing to lose and you had all the gain?
No. Just win a fight. You gotta fight.
Thank you for not punching my face a lot tonight, too.
No problem.
Question for Misha. I'm wondering if you think about these sort of things. You're fighting in the 205-pound division, relatively young. You're Canadian. You have a lot going for you in a division that doesn't seem to have a lot going for it right now. Do you feel like you can actually move up quickly because you have those things in your back pocket?
You know, I'm always also getting better. I'm a martial artist, and I'm not crazy about like jumping and just, you know, whatever Joe Silva wants me to do, like, you know, I'll fight anybody, and that's kind of like, I'm just trying to get better and meet more high-level athletes and cross-train together and just getting better, you know.
They replayed the moment in which it seemed as though his jaw broke. What's going through your mind when you feel that? Obviously, you heard it. You were right there, and I'm sure you felt some change in his jaw structure. What's going through your mind there?
I mean, I heard that happen, and then right away he started tapping, and I was just really excited. You know, all the training is working out, and you know, all the hard work slowly paying off, and I'm just really happy to get the tap. You know, in the first round, like if somebody seen me fight before, like, you know, I go for takedowns as well, but my strategy was just to keep it on the feet first round, just tire him up a little bit, and then go for takedowns and start working my ground in the second round. And the strategy like worked out, and just very happy with the performance, and especially not just as a submission, but I was able to like break his jaw. So, you know, I'm impressed.
You should be. And one other question for you. The rap song that you alluded to, that group made famous because they did a song about Kristaps Porzingis, and now they made one about you. How did that happen? How did that come about?
You know, before fighting UFC, nobody knows who I am, but here you have, like, I had my first UFC fight, and then all of a sudden, everyone back home in Latvia, everybody just, you know, they're really excited, you know, because right now I'm ranked as #1 fighter in Latvia, and people are very supportive, and they just, you know, they decided to help one of their own, and I'm just very happy that they did that, and hopefully more people will get to know who I am.
And then just one other quick one for Johnny. I know it's fresh, but in hindsight, do you feel like you almost put too much on your plate leading up to this fight? You mentioned the change in camp and management, things like that. There's a lot going on.
No, I didn't put too much. Like I said, Steven, he did very well today. You know, he's just a better fighter. You know, you get one day to prove who's the better fighter, and he did it. It's, you know, it sucks that sucks when you lose, but like I said, I'll be back. I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna get stronger. You know, I'm still figuring things out. You know, and like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna see him again one day. And now it's about how do you figure out that style. Now I've felt it. I understand a little bit out of it, and that's really what you have to do. Is, you know, I'm gonna beat myself up over it until I get another fight. But until then, I'm really just gonna try to get myself better. You know, this is a learning curve for me. That's really how I have to view it. Every loss, you get better, and as long as I can do that, then I can move forward. But throwing too much on my plate, you can't take nothing away from that guy. He did a great fight tonight, and he succeeded, and I failed.
You have a question for Robbie Lawler? He's not up there? I'm sorry. Sorry.
Case, I believe that was a subtle dig at you.
For Steven, can you talk about how the fight went tonight, and could you have imagined it going any better than that?
No, I mean, I was expected to go 5-minute rounds with Johnny Hendricks. He's a tough guy, man. I mean, tough as they come. I mean, he's been 10 rounds with Robbie Lawler, and man, you know what? I just stuck to my game plan, kept him at the end of my hands and feet, and you know, the game plan worked it to a point.
Question for Joe. To your right, Joe. So I guess the bad news is that Cejudo's getting the fight, but the good news is that it's not, in the summer. It's about 2.5 months away. So what are you thinking? I mean, you've been gracious saying, I understand I have to do a lot to get back to a third fight, but you've won 5 in a row. I mean, when is enough? And do you feel like sitting there that you're in a good spot to potentially face the winner of a fight that's 2.5 months away?
Enough is never enough. I feel I can always continue to get better, every single fight. And the way I look at it is just like, I can fight, the champion next and be this good, or I can fight him in another fight and be that much better. And to me, it's an inevitable thing. I'm not going to lose until I do get there. To clear it up, like, of course, I'm not out here begging for a title shot since I lost 2. But, so anyone doesn't even have to ask. Like, of course, I'll fight for the title shot. And that's the fight I want. That's the fight I work towards every single day. You know what I mean? But I'm also not out there like, hey, I lost twice. Give me the title shot after 4, after 5. 5's a great number. And then they just made this fight. So obviously I could fight the winner. I'm down for that, But I'm down for, I guess, whatever, Like I said, I'm only going to get better until then. But I'm also ready to fight if they want me to fight the winner of Cejudo and Demetrius, I mean, 5 wins is great. I've fought the toughest guys, in division. Every night out has been super tough. Makovsky's great. Bogatin the last fight. One of the tougher, more overlooked guys in the division. Moraga, Ortiz, Elliott, That's what I do, though, man. I love it. And like I said, I'm just getting better myself every fight. So I feel the title fight and me being the best in the world is inevitable.
And then a quick question for Pyle. You said you've got some fight left, but you've also, recognize that you are twice as old as some of these guys going. You don't have how much time you have left. So do you have anything left on a bucket list? When you've been fighting for 16 years, is there anything in terms of like an opponent or somewhere where you want to fight, some venue, whatever the case may be? Is there something left that you haven't done in this sport yet?
That's a good question. I don't know. That's a good question. I really don't know. I just want to continue. Obviously, I love the sport. I love doing what I do because I've been doing it so long, and I come to win, so I don't know. I just love what I do. If I get to fight whomever it is next, I'm glad that I get to do what I like to do as a living. Go to the gym each day and provide for my family. This is what I've always wanted to do, and that's what I'm still doing, and I'm not going to give it up until I can't. I am 40. I'm not stupid. Things will come to an end. It's just the way it is. And, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. But when that day comes, everybody will know it.
And actually, one more for Mickey Gall. Sitting there tonight, what do you think the build-up to this fight is going to be? Punk came into the octagon. You guys looked at each other. It seemed like it was very cordial. He's from an entertainment realm, and a trash-talking realm. I mean, are you expecting to do a lot of sit-down, face-off, expected to trash-talk with this guy? Do you think that that's just something you're going to have to do up until the point that you two square off? Or what are you expecting in terms of the promotion of this fight?
I honestly have no clue what to expect. I'm sure they're going to trying to do something. He's a big superstar, big name. I'm ready for whatever. I have no clue. I have no idea.
Question for Stephen Thompson. After you stuffed the takedown, it seemed like you started to let your strikes go. Was stuffing the takedown something that had to happen before you really opened up?
No, he just caught me up against the cage, and once I was able to get out, I felt at home. I felt comfortable. And Johnny's he's strong, man. He's a strong dude, and I know if I could stuff that takedown and get back to the center, I could put him away. So that's exactly what we worked on, and that's exactly what I did.
Great. Question for Mickey Gall. Being that this was your debut, was there anything different than what you expected, or was it exactly what you expected from the post-fight, the pre-fight? I mean, everything leading up to the fight.
I felt great. I really felt really good. I was working on like being present and not letting, because everyone talks about like the UFC jitters and stuff like that and adrenaline dumps, and I felt great in there the whole time. I felt really comfortable. I felt locked in. I didn't expect it to go that quick. I'm not complaining, but I felt great. I really did. I felt very at home.
Steven, please. You mentioned you were having some success with strikes early. You were able to stuff the takedown and get away. Was there a moment that it clicked in your head that you said, "I've got this, and I'm going to be able to get it done quick"?
I had that attitude going into the first round. I know what I'm capable of, and just the confidence coming in from my camp. Man, I had all the confidence in the world, so I knew I could put him away. I just had to find the way to do it. Keep him at the end of hands and my feet. I knew who was going to look for the takedown. And just keep the fight standing up, and I knew it was going to happen.
Certainly the biggest one of your career. You made it clear you're going for a title this year. What's the path? I mean, do you have names in mind, number of fights? Do you have your path marked out to get to the title?
Of course, defeating Johnny Hendrix is a tough guy, number 2 ranked guy, former welterweight champion. I'm asking for the title, man. I know there's a lot of guys in line, but I think after that performance, I deserve it.
Any other questions? No? All right, thank you for your support, everybody.